Hello, YTPC. Scott the Night Train Piper here. Coming to you from the mountains of Southern California, where I have not been for the last 5 or 6 days. We had a power outage here, and it was fine. You know, the house is warm enough, but it looked like it was going to go for a few days, and there was going to be a storm coming in, a big snowstorm, our first of the year. And so my wife and I just decided to bug out on the second day. So we drove up to the Bay Area, to San Francisco Bay Area, in the town I grew up, stayed with my dad for a few days, the town of Livermore, California. So, yep, we drove up. And I'm smoking some Extra Smooth by Kramer's. Good stuff. It still tastes like toasted marshmallow, but you have to smoke it a little slowly, this stuff. It's a Virginia and Cavendish, and the fact is, if you try to smoke it too fast, it gets hot and it sort of just blanks out the flavor. So I always try to light it and get it going by puffing pretty good. And once it's going, I just take slow puffs, and I get that nice toasted marshmallow and a little bit of grass. So anyhow, it was about a 6.5 hour drive up, something like that. And while we were up there, we did several things. We went into San Francisco to Chinatown, and they're getting ready for their New Year's. So they had sort of a parade. It wasn't the actual New Year parade, but it was kind of like a warm-up parade. They were having a cut flower show. So we spent a day when my sister came along. My dad didn't. He just didn't feel up to walking. So we went up there with my sister, and my wife was there. We walked around, had a lovely breakfast at a little bakery there, had some egg tarts and some interesting Chinese coffee. It was a little like a mixture of tea and coffee. Didn't quite work for me, but it did the job. It had caffeine, so it did the job of waking me up. We got there early to beat the crowds, get a good parking space, and we did. We got a good parking. Spent the day there, had lunch, kind of a late lunch at a little French bistro that's right next to Chinatown. So, but man, fantastic food. That was great. And then headed back. And then I just spent some time around, tooling around Livermore while we were staying up there. And I was watching the snowstorm and the snow build up at my house while I was up there. We got over a foot out there. While I was gone. So I've got some shoveling to do when we get daytime tomorrow. I'll do a little bit of shoveling. I did some after I got back tonight. I did a little bit of shoveling of our steps and a couple of walkways, but I need to shovel our cars out and our parking space out, so I got that to look forward to. But it was fun. Spent some time around the foothills of the Bay Area, doing some hiking. We got a little bit of rain while I was there, but not too bad. Certainly not like here, with all this snow and cold. Although it was cold in the Bay Area. And I did stop in at my local tobacco shop there, the closest one to Livermore. It's in the neighboring town of Pleasanton. and it's a little cigar shop. I think they're called the Tobacco Hut now, but they've moved around a couple of times. Primarily a cigar shop. They have a little cigar lounge in the back, um, but they do sell pipe tobaccos. And the interesting thing about this particular shop is they always get rarities in there, at least rare from my perspective. Um, so sure enough, they had a bunch of esoterica in there. That was I know there was a drop recently at one of my local tobacco shops down south here in Southern California. So they had gotten a drop too. What did they have? They had Pembroke, Dunbar, and Margate. I think they had. So I was tempted, but I didn't buy any. Um, Instead, I bought the only MacBaron they had on the shelf, which was Virginia Flake. I've never tried that, so looking forward to trying that one. It's pretty much a pure Virginia, and I've heard reports that it's pretty basic, but I'm still looking forward to trying it sometime. So yeah, I like to support. I like to support the local brick and mortars when I can. So I pretty much always go by there and buy either a cigar or some tobacco. But really, what I was looking for is Baby's Bottom. They had some Baby's Bottom in there before from Peterson, and I don't know. They keep getting it in there sometimes. So, but nope. Alas, they did not have it. But I was going to buy some of that if they had it, just to try that out. So anyway, we're back, and I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be. It was a nice visit with my dad and my sister, but it's always nice to be home again. And so yeah, that's it. Just thought I'd check in while I'm here and getting ready for bed and smoking my pipe. This is my Shap pipe. It's pretty good for Virginias. Tends to give them a lot of air, and I can smoke slowly and they still stay lit. Well, that's it for me. I hope you all are having a good week, and those of you getting the snow and the storms, I hope you're making it. And I'll talk to you all later.